Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're tuning in across the globe. Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. You know the drill. I'm a retired New York City police detective. And if you like all things true crime related from the police detective's perspective, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you get all things DutyRon and Ed Wallace when we go live or upload another video. Hey, today I'm coming live to you about a topic that, I don't enjoy speaking about this stuff. You know, transmitting and rebroadcasting intentionally live court audio is against the law. And I'm here to tell you today, as a public service announcement to my friends and to the community, it's not something that you should be doing intentionally. It's not something that you should be doing to benefit yourself. This is a disgraceful act by anybody who is claiming to seek justice for our boys. This is a very, very complex case that involves the murders of two small children, Orrin and Orson West, sincere and classic. They were 3 and 4 years old at the time they were reported missing. This is now a murder investigation. Who in their right mind, in their right frame of mind, would intentionally rebroadcast audio? And I'm going to show you the actual disclaimer, the law that was put on the district court's website. So when you go and you play the audio from this court's website, there's a statement that is in clear English, in very layman's term: do not rebroadcast this audio. So we're going to show you that. We're going to get into it. But before we do, I want to say a special thank you to the subscribers, the Patreon supporters, the channel members, the folks who moderate, the replay viewers, and everyone who positively engages in this community. You guys are what makes this a great place. I give thanks and praise to each and every one of you. And I'm so thankful that we have such a great, respectful community. This is not to the folks who are here and that are complying with justice, complying with what the law states and what we're supposed to do and what we're not supposed to do. So by no means is this a dig to any of you great people who are following this case and all of the cases that we cover. I'm just so thankful for the great people like yourself that are out there, because the majority of us want to seek justice and comply with the law. We're law-abiding citizens. So let me just get that clear and put that out there. So thank you to everyone that's here. I have a special guest who's going to be joining me. She is a loud advocate for our boys. She's not just only an advocate for the boys, but she covers a lot of cases on her YouTube channel. Jess, the Mystery Maven. She's an attorney. She's a smart woman. She's my friend. I'm happy to have her here with me today, because we're going to talk about this situation. Jess, thank you so much for being here with me today. I greatly appreciate it, on the spur of the moment to boot.
Absolutely. It's so good to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I wish I was here to discuss something other than this, but I am happy to have the opportunity to be here with you.
Yes. You and I speak quite a bit by text message, by email, back and forth about these various different cases, but especially on this one, it's near and dear to our hearts. We've covered it extensively. You've done a great job on your YouTube channel of giving everybody a play-by-play from the attorney's perspective, and the videos that you have created, not just recently, but along the whole way, have just been top notch. So I'm encouraging everyone to go over to Jess, the lawyer, Mystery Maven YouTube channel. I'm going to link it in the description. Give me a chance. I got to do it at the end of this because I created this thing so quickly today. My wife's out getting her nails and going shopping, so I have about an hour to spare here. So I did this real quick. So Jess, you and I communicated yesterday when all of our followers and all of our friends who are engaged in this case were messaging us. I had so many hits on DutyRon.com, and I can't thank the ladies and gents enough who have reached out to me when they see it's not just one person, it's multiple people that are doing it over the course of time. And the people who are doing it, in my eyes, the Jagaloon sign, I would rip it out, because but they're a little bit more than jagaloons in my book. This is criminal
Yeah.
activity. So we could take jagaloon and put that down because they don't qualify for jagaloons. They qualify for criminals, and that's criminal activity when it's done intentionally and knowingly. And it's just despicable because it's a slap in the face to justice, and you're hurting the kids here who do not have the voice. These babies are no longer able to talk. Jess, do
Yes.
you want to just make a statement or just give a comment? I'll put you full screen so everybody can listen to what you have to say in regards to this from the attorney's perspective.
Absolutely. And just to tag on to what you said, the sad reality is that these two little innocent, sweet boys, they were victims already. And I think anyone who is aware of this case knows that these children, so many people failed these poor children. And look at where we are today. And the fact that I see people streaming this and like it triggers me, to put it in a nice way. But what it does in my mind, it's re-victimizing these poor children.
Right.
And that needs to stop. Anyone who cares about justice for these children and for our justice system in the United States needs to stop doing this. It's absolutely atrocious. Now, I will say that just generally speaking, because I've gotten so many questions about the openness of trials, in particular, in regards to this particular case. And generally, public trials, that's what we want. We want trials open to the public. We want transparency. A defendant under a Sixth Amendment right has the public trial. It's a right to them. The right to a public trial is guaranteed under the Sixth Amendment. That helps to promote things like fairness, accountability. It's like a checks and balance system, basically. But there's exceptions to that where a judge can limit it. And one of those instances is where there's minors. So here we know already from hearing opening statements that it's likely that the children, the four boys, the other children of the West, might testify. I think he said, I don't have it in front of me to quote his exact words, but I think that DA Eric Smith said that we will be hearing from those four boys, that there will be testimony. So we know that there will be at least one of those four boys in court testifying. So that's one reason why he might want to limit the access in terms of us being able to see it and visualize. There's other reasons why a judge might limit it, but it's also to prevent harm, not just to the victims here, but also because of the defendant's right to a fair trial, to an unbiased jury. And if you followed this case, there was a lot of sensationalism, a lot of jagaloonish behavior, to borrow
Oh yeah.
Ron's term. And judges are increasingly starting to notice these things happening. They're starting to recognize, there's even been judicial conferences in the United States where judges are starting to look at the impact of social media on fairness, on Sixth Amendment issues, on all of this.
Right.
So it's not just, I received some charming messages on my community post where I asked people to stop doing this, right? And I just want to say this is not fun and games. This is not entertainment value. This is because I'm an officer of the court. I'm an attorney. I work with victims. I don't want to see anybody damage this case. These boys deserve more than this. And we all should get together in this community and say, no, just stop.
Jess, I couldn't have said it better, and I thank you for those words. But the bottom line here is that we all want to hear about this trial, right?
We do.
And folks want to see and see the people who are testifying and the witnesses that are coming in and so forth. But again, to save the integrity of not just the investigation and the boys getting justice, it's for all parties involved here. Our criminal
Yes.
justice system, you are afforded the right to a fair and impartial jury and a fair and impartial trial. And the judge has to balance that by doing and putting these restrictions in place.
That's correct.
People will compare how come the Murdaugh trial was plastered all over the place. We had the Johnny Depp with civil lawsuit. It involved and occupied so much of the airwaves, and people got to see it. It was entertainment. This is not entertainment. This is
Not.
the deaths, the murders of two boys, 3 and 4 years old, sincere and classic. If you want to listen to it, you could listen to it all day. If you want to watch the recap of the texting, you have multiple sources, and I'm going to show that to them here now. There's multiple news outlets that are in court, or inside the court. There are reporters that are texting the play-by-play on Twitter. You could go to Twitter and you could look at that. I'm just going to play, Jess, if you don't mind, a little piece from yesterday. And this is going to go over the attorneys and the judge making a statement after the afternoon recess yesterday. This was Friday,
Yes.
April 14th. This is when all of this crap went on in the morning. One YouTube person, and I'm not going to even give them my platform or their names. I'm not going to put them out there. You guys know who we're speaking about. Took it upon themselves to stream this audio and said, and doubled down and did something even more heinous, is said that they had permission from the court. And I'm going to show you a standing court order that's attached to this message that's placed in the audio feed. It's from 2019, and it's a standing court order. Jess, I know you saw it because you pay attention to details. That's there for not just this case, but every case in that district. It's a standing order by the court. So let's play this little piece, Jess. And I know that do you have something? I don't want to not let you speak here. Did you want to say something about what I just said?
Oh, no, I agree with you 100%. You said it well. And I actually also have the media order for this case. I personally tried to see if I could get access, if I could get permission to play the audio, probably about 2 months ago.
Right.
And I submitted a motion to the court to see if they would allow me to, and it was not even accepted. They said, absolutely not. The judge has already decided this. There's to be no restreaming. If you do that, that's illegal. You're in contempt of court. It's completely wrong.
And everyone who's in the audience in the courtroom, with the exception of the media, have to turn their phones and their devices. They have to be turned off.
Right.
You can't have a cellular device on inside the court. The only ones that get that right are the media, and it's for our advantage, so they can give us a play-by-play of what's going on inside the court. So let me just play this. It's a 4-minute clip. Jess, do you have some time to spend with us today? Or
absolutely.
Okay, great. So let's play this, and then Jess and I will come back on for a little bit more commentary. I'm going to go full screen with it. This is from KGET 17, Bakersfield, from yesterday.
Kayla, the high-profile murder trial of Jacqueline and Trezell West continued this morning. The father of Trezell West, Philip West, took the stand to give his emotional testimony. He said he was in denial when he first heard the allegations against his son. He says the person Trezell West is accused of being is not the type of person he raised his sons to be. The trial is now in recess until Monday. The video you're seeing here is from the first day of the trial, as cameras are no longer allowed inside the courtroom. However, you can find a link to stream the courtroom audio on our website, kget.com.
KGET.com's court reporter Jason Kotowski joining us now in studio with more on the West murder trial. Jason, tell us what Jacqueline West said today as police told her that her story didn't add up, right?
Yes, multiple videos have been played of interviews that investigators conducted with Jacqueline West a day after she and Trezell West reported the boys missing. Mm-hmm. In those videos, there's Bakersfield Police Detective John Ryan, an FBI agent, and a member of the California City Police Department. Now, they press her for hours about how her story doesn't make sense. She and Trezell West are giving conflicting statements, but she maintains that she sticks to her original story. She says it's not a story, it's what happened, is that Trezell West was outside gathering firewood in the backyard. The boys were playing out there. He came inside briefly. When he came back out, the boys were gone. The gate was open, and that the boys somehow got away or someone got them. She says it's her belief that they're in someone's home. She tells them that she thinks that's what happened. They said, well, who would do this? And she said, anyone. The detective John Ryan mentions that surveillance footage doesn't show the boys on the street anywhere. He said there's nothing to back up what she's telling them. And he also points out that her 4 other children have told them the exact same thing, which is that Orrin and Orson haven't been seen for months. She says she doesn't know why the children would say that. She says sometimes children lie. She doesn't know why they would lie in this case. But she says that they did not get along with Orrin and Orson. She says that Orrin and Orson cried a lot and could be difficult. And when asked why she doesn't show more emotion during the interview, the detective Ryan knows. He says, "You're not crying at all. You're not showing anything." She says that she is feeling emotion and that she loves Orrin and Orson, but that she feels differently about her adopted children than she does about her biological children.
Wow. And a lot of interesting testimony this week, right? Tell us a little bit more about who else testified.
Sure. There were a number of other people called to testify. There was more law enforcement officers from California City. But 2 of Trezell West's family members also were called to the stand. There was his brother, Josiah West, and then his father, Philip West, who you mentioned earlier. Now, Philip West said that he had a good relationship with Trezell, and the West 6 children would sometimes be dropped off at his home. He said, but after his son and their family moved to California City, he never saw Orrin and Orson again. He said that he was in denial when officers told him his son may have killed the boys, and that he's still, in his words, mind-boggled by it. He said he raised both his sons to be good fathers because he didn't have a father in his life growing up, and that the person Trezell West is accused of being isn't the person that he knew or taught to be.
Now, this trial is being live streamed. The audio from this trial is being live streamed by Kern County Superior Court, but some people have been, we came to understand today, been rebroadcasting this live audio.
Okay, so at 3 minutes and 27 seconds of this video, this news station now turns to this story, what we're live about. And this reporter was embedded in the courtroom, and the studio reporter is asking for his synopsis of what happened. So I'm going to let this play. This is the part, all 4 minutes and 28 seconds of this, obviously was about the trial, which I thought would be good for you guys. And thank you to everybody who's watching on Lawyer Mystery Maven's channel. She is one of the smart ones that took advantage of in StreamYard. I'm letting and giving the opportunity to select people who I trust, obviously, to rebroadcast my stream onto their platform. And Jess, that was great that you did that. So thank you for doing that. And hello to all of the Mystery Maven's subscribers and friends who are watching on her channel. All right, so let's listen to this exchange here.
We came to understand today, been rebroadcasting this live audio on other platforms. How did the judges or the judge address that issue today?
Yes, that was brought to the court's attention. He addressed it yesterday. He said that anyone who is rebroadcasting this audio or using another platform to broadcast it, he said that's illegal. He said he made it clear during his court order that you are only to go to the Kern County Superior Court website to listen to the audio. Anyone doing anything otherwise to provide that is doing it illegally. And Court Public Affairs Officer Kristen Davis, she also addressed the issue. She said that public access to the courts is extremely important, and that the actions of a few individuals who violate the court order won't stop them from making sure that the public has access to the procedure today. He said,
so I'm gonna put it back so you guys can listen, just in case someone might have missed it. This reporter was embedded in the court, so he's asked by the in-studio reporter what happened yesterday. I'm gonna put it all the way back because I think it's important that everybody hears this. So for those of you in the back room, I turned the volume all the way up on this. It's going to get a little loud, but I want everybody to hear this. And for those of you who are following the people who are committing criminal acts by rebroadcasting this, I would encourage you to, if anything that you take from this, and listen, you could take out all your anger, all you want on me, and say that I'm bullying these people, and Jess and I are bullying these people. No, they're committing crimes. It's a crime, and they're going to say it here. You're going to hear it, and then we're going to go to the website right after this, and I'm going to show you what those people were able to see with their own eyes and said, "Oh, I'm not going to listen to this. I have permission to do this." That's the biggest load of horse shit that I've ever heard. Nobody got permission. You just heard Jess, Mystery Maven. She's a lawyer. She requested to the courts to rebroadcast or to play the audio for everyone's advantage, or everyone's so they could hear it. She went the legal route and she was told no. And what did she do? She complied with the no. All right, let me let this play. I'm starting to get a little hopped up here, so let's let it play.
Live streamed by Kern County Superior Court, but some people have been, we came to understand today, been rebroadcasting this live audio on other platforms. How did the judge address that issue today?
Yes, that was brought to the court's attention. He addressed it yesterday. He said that anyone who is rebroadcasting this audio or using another platform to broadcast it, he said that's illegal. He said he made it clear during his court order that you are only to go to the Kern County Superior Court website to listen to the audio. Anyone doing anything otherwise to provide that is doing it illegally. And Court Public Affairs Officer Kristen Davis, she also addressed the issue. She said that public access to the courts is extremely important, and that the actions of a few individuals who violate the court order won't stop them from making sure that the public has access to the proceedings.
So there you have it. Jess, I thought it was important to play that. And again, I say thank you to you and your community who I see are chiming in, which is great, because some of the folks who follow you that don't follow me get to hear us both together on both the platforms. I think that's a brilliant idea for StreamYard to have that in the toolbox to do. But what's your thoughts on this reporting, Jess?
Well, this guy's right on. I mean, I was, like you said in the beginning, you were getting tons of calls and emails, and same with me. I've rearranged my schedule, my work schedule, so that I can do my work in the morning and then listen to the trial, the audio, and take notes, and then do my work again at night. And so I was getting hit with all of this and not knowing what's going on. And then at lunchtime, I saw all of this. And then what was interesting, and this reporter just alluded to it, was that right after all of this happened, and I believe the court was made aware of some of this, the judge started the afternoon session by making that announcement, by telling people, this is illegal. We don't want you to do this. Follow the order. So he's right on, and he's right there to tell you what's happening. And, I've heard through the grapevine that a certain creator is saying, oh, I found a loophole and blah, blah, blah. Now, the problem with that is that you got to interpret all of this stuff with the spirit of what the judge is saying. The judge clearly has said, I don't want anyone streaming the audio. It's obvious. We know what he means. So people shouldn't be looking for a loophole to get around that. There's a reason why this is in place. The judge has expressed his intention, and we need to respect that.
Yeah.
And I will also say that, the audio here that this court is providing, it's not a right to us. This is a privilege. So, the judge has the court now. The trial is open to the public, to members of the public who reside there and can attend the court.
Right.
But this audio is a privilege to us. I know it's a lot of people say this stinks. We can't see it. We can't stream it. And, I get that. It's inconvenient. It's inconvenient for me too. I get it. I can't, change things. I have to listen to this in real time in order to know what's going on. Or I could go and look at like the live tweeting or whatever.
Right.
But the bottom line is that this is a privilege, and the judge at any time can decide to disable this. So none of us want that, and the boy's story needs to be out there. This trial needs to be out there. There's not enough coverage on this case. We need to make sure that people know what happened here, and we need justice to prevail. And the only way that's going to happen is if we come together as a community and really try to support, the victims, to support justice, and to do what's right.
Yeah.
So.
And Jess, I couldn't agree with you anymore. Finding a loophole is something that somebody does that's not interested in justice for the boys. That is just total horseshit. To try to find a loophole and get around what court order is just, that's
right.
just despicable to do that. So if you like that type of behavior, in other words, okay, so I want to try to find a way to break the law and go around and find a loophole. That's what criminals do. The last time I checked, when I would pick up people from jails in my official capacity in the Fugitive Enforcement Division, I would drive back for hours in a transport vehicle with a prisoner that was going to another jurisdiction, my jurisdiction, to face charges after serving charges in another jurisdiction. And you would hear these guys. I spent a lot of time in the law library looking for loopholes and things to get around to get around criminal activity. I want to show quickly. This is from Metro Division. And for those of you who are in the chat, let me know if you could see this good. If not, I'll expand it, make it bigger. Let me put, I'm just going to put it full screen so people can see it. Just put a 1 in the chat and let me know if you could see this, or if you want me to make it a little bit bigger, I will. It's just that I think that this is the clearest way for me to show it. Sassy, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Greatly appreciated. And I'm looking at all the comments and I'm following all of the live chatters from my site here and from yours. So thank you to everyone who's chiming in. All right. So I'm just going to let you, Jess, because your voice is nicer than mine. Could you just read this and I'll highlight it from the top? This is just a small
Sure.
thing. When you log into Metro Division Department 4 audio streaming on Monday to listen to our boys in the trial, this is what you're greeted with.
Users of the court's audio streaming service are reminded of the general prohibition against the photographing, recording, and rebroadcasting of court proceedings, including those held by telephone or video conference. See California Rule of Court 1.150 and this court's standing order number 19-0005. Any recording of a court proceeding is absolutely prohibited without a court order. Violation of this order of the court is punishable as contempt pursuant to Code of Civil Procedure, Section 1209.
So I am going to, thank you for that, Jess. I am going to put up the standing court order. And this is dated again, November 14th, 2019, filed in the Superior Court of California, Kern County. And it's a standing order regarding the use of recording and photography photography and devices in the courthouse and in facilities. And you could go and read this. I'm not gonna make Jess read this all to you, but we are all adults here, right? So read these pages. It's 4 pages or 5. Read these pages because it gives you strict instructions. That is the standing order number 19, and it's pinned right here to the right. And then you have California Rule of Court 1.150. You click on it, and boom, you have all of the rules and regulations that, as a law-abiding citizen, and let me highlight, law-abiding citizen is to comply with. And let me say it loud for the people in the back of the room. If you get around anybody who is getting around this order or doing things that this order says not to do, you have no regard for justice for Orrin and Orson West, sincere and classic. And there's no sidestepping that. There's no getting around it. So I encourage you guys to go and look at this stuff. Read what's here. Read these attachments. Here's the civil code and procedures, and it gives you everything here step by step. Jess, I don't know how much more clear this could be. I mean, do they need to make it in bright lights and flashing? I don't know, but it's pretty clear and concise.
Right. And I will say that I've been in contact with this court now for months because I've been trying to learn as much as I can and make sure that I'm doing everything responsibly and ethically. And this court is very accessible. There is a media contact. I believe her name is Kristen Davis.
Yeah.
Her information is at the Kern County Courthouse. You can talk to the clerks. You can call. So if you have any doubt about what how you're interpreting this or what you may be allowed or not allowed to do, you can simply pick up a phone, make a phone call, or send an email.
Right.
And the court staff is there to help you. And I'm sorry, but I have a hard time believing that they're going to be telling people how to break the court orders that they're supposed to be enforcing, because I've heard that too. And I don't believe that.
I don't believe it either. Jess, I received a video clip. Our ladies and gents who are in the true crime community that follow us, you have, a lot of people, and I have quite a great audience here. they sent me some clips, some audio clips of this particular person speaking about getting prior written approval or verbal approval from the
Right.
court. And when I listened to that, the first thing I said was,
"Oh, hell no!"
You knew that was coming, right?
I said something stronger, but you would probably have
All
to use that beep thing that you have over there.
Here we go. I'll get a little stronger.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
So, going around and streaming it in your Discord, going to any off YouTube sites to stream this and thinking that that's okay, it's not okay. And again, what you risk is a lot of different things that we spoke about here. But the main thing that you risk is not having justice served in a timely fashion. We're looking at another month and a half of testimony from witnesses from all branches of law enforcement. We heard from the FBI and the CAST team and people who are using Cellbrite technology. Those are all our forensic, crime people that are from the computer crime squad and so forth. I'm going to do a dedicated live stream on, Cell and Cellbrite extractions. I had Tiffany Leonard, who is a retired expert from the New Jersey State Police, come on with me. I'm going to have her come back to explain how these extractions happen and what they do. I'm going to wait till most of the trial is over before we do that. But I want people to get a good idea of what goes on behind the scenes. And, Jess, you hear me and Ed Wallace talk about behind the scenes work that law enforcement does. And that's why this trial is going to take so long, is because there was so much investigation, so much investigative steps that were taken taking part behind the scenes. And we don't want to risk all that just by someone saying, I want to have some type of personal gain or clout by playing the audio when nobody else. Listen, you could look across the platform on YouTube. Nobody who has the best interest of this case and the boys are broadcasting this stuff. Nobody.
Right.
So,
right. And I will say that, down the line in the long term, if we assume that there is 1 or 2 convictions in this case, if someone was streaming the audio and made a recording of it and it's out there, that could be the basis for an appellate attorney to come in and try to get convictions overturned. So, a lot of people are talking about they don't want to lose the audio now. And I agree with that 100%. And that's the point here, right? But the damage that something like that could do later on, if there's a conviction, is very serious.
Very, very. And it's not a good look. It's not a good look for anybody. No. Let me just show this little, this is a Twitter feed for Bakersfield Now. So you can go to Bakersfield Now and follow them for free on Twitter. I know this isn't coming across probably crystal clear, but this is a blow by blow. You can click on it and say, here, this is just an example, folks. It was from 2:59 p.m. California time. Officer John Ryan being questioned by the prosecuting attorney, Eric Smith. He said he was in an investigative capacity on this case. He says he never took lead on the case. Hashtag West trial. So you could go to Twitter and do a hashtag West trial, and then boom, look what comes right up.
Hey.
Jess, Mystery Maven, boom. But so, and that's the use of hashtags. So good job with that. So the West trial. And I want to click on this. You could go, boom, and here you are. You can go and see the content that Jess. This is how easy it is. You don't need some jagaloon committing a crime for you to hear, So is Jess talking about, was this your latest?
Knock on the door. This is my latest, yeah. Jacqueline.
All right, so let's play a little bit of this. Let's give Jess a little bit. This is from her YouTube channel, which is live right now. But so if you want to hear about this, here's a recap of day 6 and 7. I listened to this morning when I was having my cup of coffee, and this is some of the best recaps. If you want to listen to Jess from the lawyer's perspective, I encourage you highly to go over there and subscribe to her channel because she's got a ton of these things. But let's listen to a little bit.
Covered that earlier in the week and did a video there. And so this week was Wednesday and Thursday, which were both full days. And then today, Friday, was a half a day. I told her on Facebook Messenger that they were looking for homes there. And she said she couldn't recall. So the attorney showed her a Facebook message to refresh her recollection, and she said yes. She did know in May of 2020, in accordance with the message she just looked at. So she thought it wasn't actually, as she previously testified, that she only found out after they moved in September. She was then asked about the birthday visit and the
So you're getting the point that I'm trying to make here, friends, is that there's other avenues for you to get a play-by-play of what happened. You have Twitter, you have listening to the live audio, you have Jess, the mystery maven, who's here live with us now. People's heads are probably spinning like, wait a minute, is this live or is this Memorex? I was just playing, I was playing a little bit of her video from her channel that she uploaded this morning or overnight. So these are all places for you to get a recap, and it's not like you're left out in the cold. You don't need to commit a crime and rebroadcast the audio. So if you know of anybody that's doing it, let us know. Report it to the court. The phone number to the courts are on that page, or ways to contact them. You know, this stuff should not. You should not be cheerleading people on that are doing this, and that, I think that's the best way I could say it. If you are cheerleading on or encouraging someone who's doing this or supporting someone who's doing this, you're supporting criminal activity. Jess, am I wrong?
No, this is definitely breaking the law, and the consequence of this generally is a civil contempt in the California courts. You know, people have said, well, if this person or if people don't live in the jurisdiction, can the court do anything? And the reality is that yes, the court can do something. I mean, they could go to YouTube or other platforms where it's being streamed. The court is not stupid, you know, and the judge knows what he's doing. And these are the people that, if you screw around, are going to have the capability to take action if necessary. You know, sadly, if it comes to that, that's going to also put a drain on the court's resources and their time and energy and personnel. It's going to come at a cost to the taxpayers. You know, it's really just a bad situation all the way around.
You know, and we saw Chief John Walker early on in this case with the boys. People were trespassing on that property, going in the backyard to get videos and do live streams. I personally saw one guy jump over the fence, and before he jumped over the fence, he said, "Will you bail me out if I get arrested?" That means that he did that after the chief said, if you go on the property, you're going to be arrested for trespassing.
Right.
So I personally watched myself, people trespassing on this potential crime scene, right? You had the FBI digging up the backyard. You had all kinds of equipment that was used to turn up the soil and look for evidence and forensics and so forth. So my thing is this, okay? If you want to be support someone who's committing these type of criminal activities, I'm not for you and you're not for me. And that's what I'd have to say. I'm here to help support victims and their families, help to educate folks on the behind the scenes investigations that happen and how the techniques are used and how law enforcement does and gets people into custody and follows through with what they have to do. Jess is here to give the legal perspective, and I always reach out to all of the experts in the respective fields, because if it's not something that I know or that I've done myself personally, I'm not going to tell you about it and just sing you a song and dance. I yield to the professionals. Jess, you know that that's how I do it. You know?
Absolutely. And I yield to you too. I mean, you guys have the expertise and the police procedure, and I look to you for guidance.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate, but again, if you don't mind, Jess, I want to look to the chat, because there's chats coming from your side and mine. So I want to just look to the chat and say hello to everybody. Checking Convictions is on the Mystery Mavens live.
Yay!
Here. I respect that the lawyer Mystery Maven so very much. This is one creator who truly is for justice, and their victims and families. Thank you, Checking Convictions. Appreciate that. I agree wholeheartedly. Joyce says, DutyRon and Mystery Maven, bless you for being this to the light. Hey, we really appreciate the support, and we appreciate everybody listening. Joey Brooklyn, one of my main moderators here, he's the head of security. He's making sure the chat is respectful. here on the DutyRon side. Let's see. Anybody have any questions? Put questions hashtag Jess. I'll make it simple, JESS, or hashtag DutyRon, and we'll highlight your questions. Let us know what you have regards to what we're speaking about here, and that is live streaming or rebroadcasting court audio. Pete Pranzo, Lieutenant, retired from the NYPD from the Street Crime Unit. Hello, boss. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. And say hello to your beautiful wife, Richella, from me. So Uber Goober is on your site, and he or she says, what's it going to take to stop these creators of making a monkey of or mockery of these victims? Hashtag Jess. So that's for you.
Well, it's a good question that you ask, Uber Goober. I hope you're doing well. I participate in various organizations that have been paying attention to that. And I can tell you that it's definitely on the radar. It's something that not only victims advocates are getting more involved with, but as I mentioned earlier in this stream, the courts are starting to take notice, attorneys are starting to take notice. This is a growing problem. I think that the awareness of the problem needs to happen. It needs to be gain more attention, but also there's been discussion by those of us who are interested in this and who are kind of discussing at the forefront of some of these issues. What can we do? I think that it's going to take some larger organizations, perhaps businesses. Perhaps there's been discussions of Netflix. Think people who are, or I shouldn't say people, but companies who are putting out content that sometimes is not empathetic to the victim and focuses more on the people who are perpetrating these crimes. And we're seeing more and more of that. So there's a lot of discussion that if it hits somebody in the pocketbook, that we're going to start to see change. I think also there needs to be some sort of legislative examination of this. This issue has started to see some traction, but it hasn't been a lot within the legislature. It's come up in other areas, specifically in regards to privacy rights. Things like the issues of doxing and those types of things. Sometimes it comes up in those discussions, other kinds of criminal activity, such as like revenge porn issues and things like that. Sometimes you have an overlap because you start to get into privacy rights of victims and the victim's family. So I think it's going to take a joint effort. It's going to have to be recognition by the public. There's going to have to be legislative attention. And then hopefully some of the larger entities that create media will get on board with this and start to draw more attention to it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. That was a great explanation there. NorCal Girl says, at DutyRon, what are the penalties for breaking the court order? I'm sure it's probably a Class A or Class B misdemeanor, which is punishable of up to 15 days in jail and or a fine. And just because people live out of state, right? If someone lives outside of the California area, it doesn't mean that they can't be fined for this. They could be the court can impose a fine or imprisonment. Did you look into the legal part of it? Because this is really not up my alley,
right.
But I know that
I don't have the specific provisions, but I do know that what's listed is that it's a civil contempt here. So it would be fines. We're looking at fines. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm not licensed in California. I don't know them off the top of my head, but I would think that it could be quite large. And the longer that you leave stuff out there and don't delete it, and the more you do this, the greater the likelihood that you're going to have a higher fine.
Yeah.
So, the best thing that anyone, if they've done this by mistake and everything, okay. I mean, I don't think DutyRon and I are not talking about people who are doing that. Like, people make mistakes. And I've said that there's people who've made comments to me back and forth. And I've said, listen, like, I'm not talking about people like that. Like, if people make a mistake, everybody makes a mistake. And
listen, I did it. When Jared Lysick from Adventures of Purpose was going through that whole process, I had my open mic, that whole issue, right? But I didn't intentionally broadcast the stuff. But the court was in recess.
Right. There's a difference.
Yeah. So there's a big difference. This is intentional stuff that we're speaking about. Jeff Litweiler from the great state of Wyoming says, boycott these YouTube channels and report them. That's why I watch DutyRon. Listen, we're all that you can take action against someone that is willing willingly breaking the law. And if you have your heart in these cases, again, it's in our best interest to, if you see something, say something. And I want to just publicly thank everyone who messaged me and sent me messages on DutyRon.com about what was happening. Without you guys, I was at work, so without you guys doing that, I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have known it was happening. Because obviously we don't watch those shitty people who do stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it takes us all together to, again, if you see something, say something. That's really what I have to say. Here at Mystery Mavens, Captain Brenton, drone pilot, in Nova Scotia, 2021, first court decision regarding Dylan, missing 3-year-old. I know the parents personally. All right, so that's for you. Send her an email on that. I'm sure she would be.
Yes, definitely do that. Send me an email.
Lexi Lux, I don't know if the super chat came here or on your side. It says, no questions, just support. YouTube streets can be dirty. You both are great with a heart. LMM. So thank you.
Oh, thanks, Lex Lux. You're sweet.
Yeah, I can't tell did that come on this side or on your side?
I don't know. I'm so technologically challenged. I'm not sure.
It shows that link. It shows that link. So the people who are chatting from your side, it has like a little link, which is pretty cool. So I know, like Uber Goober,
That's awesome.
He's on yours, Shredded Tainment. I've been subscribed to DutyRon since the beginning of the boys case, and today I'm sub to the Mystery Maven. So that's what the LMM means. Okay, gotcha. Lawyer Mystery Maven.
Thank you.
Dummy me, duh. Hold on.
What are you people? On dope?
I not know what LMM means. So I'm trying to scroll back to see where that super chat came in from, just because I want to say, well, thank you on behalf of both of us, no matter where it came from.
Definitely. Thank you for that so much. And thank you for your support as well.
Yes. And a lot of people are chatting and commenting from your end. So thank you for those of you who are here on, watching on Jess's side. We thank you for having an open mind and listening to this, because, what we're saying is not anything that we're not creating the wheel here. We are stating the law and we're abiding by it. And if you're not abiding by the law, then what does that make you? That makes you not a good person, and listen, there's people serving on this jury that are taking weeks and weeks out of their lives, 2 months, two months and maybe a little bit more. So there's all these people who are, doing their civic duty. We don't want to risk anything here. And I think that's the general consensus. And I thought it was important to reach out to you to say, hey, do you want to join in with me? And you said right away, you want to? Are we doing this now? And I said, yeah. You were like, give me 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, it's really important, this issue. And I was telling somebody, it's not personal. It's the law.
No.
This is the law. This is what I do. This is what DutyRon has been involved with his whole career. This is what we do, and this is the law. Yeah. I don't know why people don't, not I shouldn't say people, but some people don't seem to understand that, right? It's just don't do it. I don't know what else to tell people. It's very apparent what the rule here is, what the judge.
We could say this stuff till the sun comes down, until we're blue in the face. People will do stupid things, but this is not just only a stupid thing. This is you're breaking the law. And that's not what we support and stand by. I didn't risk 20 plus years of my life upholding the law. And however many years you're in the business, I know it's multiple years. You're probably in the 20s, right? Or close.
23.
There you go, Jess. So we didn't take 2 decades of our lives to uphold the law of the land, and you defending the Constitution, defending people's rights as an attorney, to now, in my retirement, come here on YouTube and stop breaking the law. It's just horrific.
It is.
So checking convictions is going wild on your side.
She's great.
Truly for justice, you follow it. Laws no bending. Yes, because you will be taken from justice to fit your selfish needs. That is 100% wrong. Hey. I don't know checking convictions, but I actually like what she's saying there. So, I mean, kudos to you, checking convictions.
Amen.
Yeah.
And I will say, DutyRon, I've been asked a few times. I got an email last night just from someone, and they said, they were upset and they didn't know if it was appropriate or proper for them to contact the court and let them know if they've seen something. And I told that person, and what I want to say here is, we all have an interest in our justice system. It's our system, and to make sure that it works right, you have a right to contact the court and let them know. And
Absolutely.
I would say the best way to get a hold of anybody here I think email is the best, because we don't want to clog up the phone system. So I would suggest contacting, I believe her name is Kristen Davis. She's the media officer at the Kern County Court, and that would be the best way to do it. And just, you can tell them, what it is that you're concerned about. And if you have, proof of what you're saying, that's always helpful too. If you want to send a video with a timestamp or something, so that it makes it easy for them to access it and quickly access it, and they can see what you're talking about.
Right.
But it's, it's fine. You can do that. There's no prohibition against doing that. So
yeah, I want to add to that. I'm going to just add a little bit to that. Okay, so it's, again, as Jess said, you don't want to clog up the courts with phone calls, especially during the day while court's in session. Emails, they'll get to them. But if you know somebody like, say, Jess or even myself, I encourage you, if you see any of these violations, to message us, because I can, I have a contact through this case that works inside that courthouse, and I'm able to report any of the violations. And I'm happy to tell you that I reported yesterday that violation.
As did I.
So yeah, so both Jess and we called down over there, and I reached out to my contact. Once I verified, I needed to verify and see what happened. I verified it, saw it with my own eyes, screen recorded it with my own phone, and then called down there and provided the information. And that's all that needs to be done. And I would encourage anybody, like, again, that sees other people doing this stuff, to let us know. We aren't the YouTube police, but we are definitely law-abiding civilians.
We are, and as an attorney, I'm an officer of the court, so I feel an obligation to tell the court when I see people doing this.
Tina, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Tina is always around. Awesome sauce. We got some great people. I want to just say also hello to everybody in the live chat, and the people who have considered giving this video a thumbs up on both my site on YouTube here, and also on Jess Mystery Maven, the lawyer. Jess, you keep changing it. It was the Mystery Maven, and now you're screwing me up. Lawyer Mystery Maven. So go over and give her video the thumbs up, subscribe, share this out. The more people that see this, the better. And again, this is nothing but us being good law-abiding citizens and reporting what's right and what's wrong. Listen, I don't like making these videos, and I know, Jess, you don't either.
No.
But these, unfortunately, at certain particular times, need to be done. And then you can listen. There's snake oil salesmen out there. There's door-to-door salesmen. There's people that'll call you up and try to close you on the phone to buy a Kirby vacuum cleaner or whatever. Don't listen to a bag of shit that's being tried to sell to you and boxed up as a really steak and eggs meal. Don't do it. You're not there's no way to justify this. So there's no justification for this type of behavior or activity.
Yes. So, takeaway, no bags of shit.
Yeah, exactly. No bags of shit, and stay away from the jackalope.
That's right. Can I just address T. Kelly? I don't want to miss her question. She asked a question in regards to whether or not the judge would be able to do something with regards to the creator or creators who might be doing this and YouTube. And the answer to that question is yes. I mean, the judge and the court, this is all in their hands now, right? But it's up to them as to what they can do. But there are ways that they can contact YouTube and then let YouTube know what's going on. And then it's up to YouTube to do something. So yeah, I mean, YouTube can definitely be involved in something like this. So.
It's a direct violation of terms of service.
Yes.
If you are committing a crime while utilizing YouTube and rebroadcasting, whether it's on YouTube or on any other sites. If you take it to Discord, you can report it to Discord. You go to what are these new things? Kick, I'm hearing people talk about. Stuff that I don't know anything about. Listen, I live stream. This is going to Facebook, Twitter, the Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So those are the platforms that I live stream on. And I'm on TikTok, but I don't live stream on TikTok. I just upload videos. So, again, Saturday afternoon here in New York City. I know Jess is on the East Coast too. So it's 2:15. I got better things to do with my day, but I think it's important. And I got, I had an hour-long conversation with Roro from Bakersfield. She's the bio cousin. Roro is a strong advocate for these boys. This is her blood. This is her family, right? We had an hour-long conversation before I went live, and it really was important to me. Took this time, and I said, I need to get live and speak about this because, there's just so much bullcrap going on out there, and there's so many people trying to justify this nonsense. There's no justification for it. There's none whatsoever.
There's not. And, and I was thinking through it because after, I had made a post calling this person out because I had been made aware of it, and I'm blocked on that person's channel. And as a matter of fact, about, I would say maybe a year or two ago, I had posted in that person's comment section when I saw them doing something. And I said, listen, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but what you're doing here is, against whatever it was at the time. And I got blocked. So I can't contact that person unless I was to put that in my community page. That's why I did that. And so, I just think that sometimes you got to call this stuff out. And I saw somebody asking, by the way, a question in the chat, and I just want to make sure that everyone heard that the best thing to do, and I know you mentioned it earlier, don't call the court, just send an email to the court if you see something. That's the best way to handle it. And please try to include with them the context, give them what it is that you've seen. If it's a photograph, it's a link to something with a timestamp, because you don't want to just send an email saying, hey, I heard this, or this is what's going on. No, they need to see the actual proof of what you're saying. So that would be my suggestion.
So that's the thing, take like I did. I took an actual screen grab and an audio grab of what was happening. The court didn't ask me to send it to them. They trusted what I gave them, and an email. You could send it over in an email file. So I see Ro is in the chat. Gail Thornberry's here. A whole bunch of people are chiming in. Dawn Marie, thank you for everything that you do. Let me highlight some people. Agati, thank you. Dizzy Dimensions, Animal Advocate, thank you. She's saying, oh, Jess, of course you got blocked.
Yeah, go figure.
But you're better off. You're better off being blocked from toxic people like that, because if somebody is not open to hear common sense and the truth, and people who run from the truth are usually somebody that are hiding from the truth, so I feel strongly that if you were silent and didn't say anything, then I can't be silent when it comes to stuff like this.
I can't either.
Again, I don't like doing it, but unfortunately you have to do it. Right. Lane is saying it's the first time here on your end. This is somebody on your site. Lane, I hope you consider subscribing to Jess. She's a great, great friend, and she's putting out reliable, clear, concise, in layman's terms, content from a lawyer's perspective. So it's a great thing. Let's see who else is chiming in, because I hate to miss people. Anything else jump out at you?
I don't see anything.
Okay. All right. So Yvette is saying we all dislike the court order. Amen. I don't like it either, but we must respect it and follow it.
Exactly.
Comments like that, Yvette, are 100%. I'm on board with it. I'm frustrated. We're angry about it. But you know what? I took out the time during the course of my work schedule. I'm in there with an earbud. People are like,
right.
You never wearing an earbud all day long. And I'm like, shh. I'm listening.
Oh no, I sit here because you have to listen to it in real time, right? So I literally lock myself down and I'm like, no one bother me. I don't want any phone calls. My daughter has been home this week, so it was spring break, and she's, trying to tell me stuff, and I'm like, no, unless you're bleeding or there's some huge emergency.
Medical
Do
emergency.
not come in
Leave
here.
mommy alone. Leave mommy alone.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like Mimi Viz, thank you so much. Mimi Viz, I gotta highlight her again. So she just sent in a super chat. So I have to do it, Mimi Viz. So this is Michelle. She is one of the groups of ladies who supported big time the funding for the digital billboards. The billboards on Highway 99 cost us
Awesome.
$1,000
Thank you
a
so
month.
much for that.
So Mimi Viz would send legit hundreds, thousands of dollars
It's
every month,
fantastic.
each and every month. If I did a video asking people, and I was asking people to send money to fund these billboards, and Mimi Viz was one of the most generous. And there were others. There were several others who sent in lots, and there was others who just could send $5 or $2. So thank you for keeping that digital billboard going. The community here and everyone who's been following this case that donated to that are just angels,
Yes.
from above. So thank you for
Yep. Thank you
everyone
so
who-
much for that. Like, God bless you all.
That was so great that we were able to do that for so long. And then it stopped on March 1st when they were arrested. That's when
Right.
that's when I discontinued it. Avery Shannon, again, is coming in with a super chat. I personally thank you for standing up to this. The sanctity of the trial and our constitutional rights to listen. I love your morals and respect for the court. And I'm sure that, Avery, you sent that to both Jess and I. And there's hundreds and thousands. I think there was a report on 23 ABC in Bakersfield that the court had to buy more slots because there was over
Yes.
2,000 people watching the trial on Friday. So
Right.
yeah, so that's a great thing. Keep watching it, keep listening, keep paying attention, and watch the tweets if you can't catch it live. So that's the great part about the tweets is you can go back to the tweets and get a play-by-play of what all of the witnesses and all the people that are coming in to testify. Kim Alliston, great supporter and friend of not only DutyRon, but Police Off the Cuff. Thank you for the $10 super sticker. Much love and respect to you. Thank you for being here. Miss Donna Marie, thank you for being here. Here's somebody who just comes in. Hey, what happened? Please read the title. It'll say everything and watch the replay. It'll take you 57 minutes. You'll find out exactly what happened. Actually, I think I get to it in the first 2 minutes. we get right to it. Jess, again, any final words, because I want to end this at an hour, so I'll give you last words.
Well, I think we covered it, but I mean, the bottom line is just keep your eye on this case. Thank you so much to everyone who's let the court know and let us know about, all of these things that are going on. This, as DutyRon says, the Jagalunary. We appreciate it. I mean, all that anybody wants here is for this trial to continue, the audio feed to be continued, and for this trial to continue in a way that's fair to the victims and fair to all the parties in the case. And I appreciate that. I know DutyRon does too. And,
Yes.
Everything we can do to support this is for the best.
Absolutely. You say things so well, and I thank you for that. Sharing Sharings Creates is a wonderful, I don't want to give away her location, but she's on the East Coast here. She crochets and does lots of things. She made blankets for EquiSearch when they were searching for Summer Wells and searching for some of the cases that we cover. She's made so many handmade things for us. She's had a bad, rough day yesterday. I don't know if she wants me to put it out there, but I know why you put that up, and I'm sending you nothing but strength, prayers, and positive vibes. And then Sharon, if you need to reach out to me personally, send me an email. I'm always here to listen and give you a hand in support. Chandy K, thank you for the super sticker, and also to anybody that we missed along the way. I just want to say things like this. Listen, folks, you're going to see these bad actors out there. The internet is a dangerous place. It is, as people say, it's dangerous streets that you walk down. You have a choice. There's a choice, and the choice is tune out, report, step away, do not support, do not encourage. If you see something that's not right, report it. That's it. That's your listen. We have an obligation. We have an obligation to ourselves and to justice to report things that we see wrong. If you see a crime that's being committed outside of your house or where you are, you're going to pick up your phone and call 911, hopefully, right? It's the same concept. But definitely do not engage with that kind of stuff. Do not jump on the pile and get on the bandwagon, because then it just makes you just as bad as those other people. And I think that's the best that I could say it. So I want to thank everyone for watching on both sides, on Jess over at the Lawyer Mystery Maven. And thanks for changing your screen name and confusing me.
Yeah, no, but thank you to everybody. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody's support and encouragement. It's awesome.
Yes, yes. Grace Green says, take out the bags of poop. I like that. I got to highlight it.
Right.
Where did
That's
it go?
the takeaway here. You said it, you know.
That's going so fast. That was a good one. Where did it go? Darn it. It's gone. But yes, listen, as I always like to end all of these, this is about our boys, Sincere and Classic. You know, people don't like when we refer to them as Orrin and Orson West, and I'm going to tell you why we do that. It's because it's their legal name, it's what the courts recognize them as, and it's what the media is reporting them as. So to get their names and get their, to get people talking about this case, if you put Sincere and Classic out there, not a lot of people, unfortunately, are searching for that because they know him as Orrin and Orson West. We don't like that. I get it. I refer to him as both, Sincere and Classic. That is that's what their names when they were born, their natural born parents named them that. And then, as we know, these evil monsters renamed them Orrin and Orson West. So listen, let's send out strength and prayers and positive vibes to everybody in the Bakersfield community, everyone who's involved in getting justice for our boys. And let's follow this case respectfully. Let's keep talking about it. Share this video, like it, subscribe to both Jess and myself, share all of the videos that she's made. Go and watch her, support her, and support all the good people. There's many other good ones out there that are seeking justice. So on behalf of Jess, Lawyer, Mystery Maven, and Crime Time with DutyRon, and this great community that we have together, it's always great to cross-pollinate, right, Jess?
It is.
We can cross-pollinate and share our people on different sides. It's always great to see everybody in the chat. Leave me comments and Jess comments down below on both sides, and we will see you on the next live stream. And as I always like to end these, God bless the world, God bless the United States of America, and God bless each and every one of us here in the chat, but especially our boys, Sincere and Classic, Orrin and Orson West. We send strength, prayers, and positive vibes to them and their communities and everyone that's out there supporting. All right. On behalf of Crime Time, DutyRon, and Mystery Maven, I always know you as Mystery Maven, Jess. We'll see you soon. Peace, guys.
Bye.
Bye.